You are listening to Penn State's only WWE talk show, Marking Out with Jason Marcus and Matt Freiler.
Welcome into Marking Out with Jason Marcus and Matt Freiler. Had to take a week off last week due to some snow here on the Penn State campus, but we're right back at it here on the road to WrestleMania. And Jason, a lot going on to talk about in the world of wrestling. Ronda Rousey announced that she'll sign her contract for WrestleMania at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Also, for the first time, we get 7 men in the Elimination Chamber match coming up on the 25th of February. On the SmackDown side of things, a Fatal 5-Way announced for WWE Championship at Fastlane in March. Also, big NXT show coming up tonight. Ring of Honor SuperCard. Big match announced. We'll get to that a little later in the show. You can talk about that. And, we have a little bit to talk about with Corey Graves and Booker T. Not going to touch on it too much because, like the rest of the WWE Universe, I was worked on it. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of upset about that whole thing and how that went down. So maybe we'll sound off a little bit about it. But nonetheless, it's not really relevant as they made it irrelevant. So I guess we'll start off, Jason, with talking a little bit about the Monday Night Raw scene. One of the more interesting things right now, I think, is how Elias is being put in the Samoa Joe slot, and he's being pushed like crazy. In the episode of Monday Night Raw, last week he defeated John Cena and Braun Strowman in a triple threat to secure that he's the last one to come out of Elimination Chamber. And then Braun Strowman comes out during his guitar segment with a cello and starts to sing to us. Braun breaks character a little bit. I always hold Braun Strowman near and dear to my heart because, as hardcore wrestling fans, we've seen him out of character. Yeah. And not a lot of people, maybe who are casual wrestling fans, really understand that Braun Strowman is just this big teddy bear. Yeah. And to see him come out and start singing, it was just amazing with that cello. I laughed pretty hard, I
love how ridiculous wrestling is.
It really is. And, he broke character at the Mixed Match Challenge, telling Alexa Bliss she was cute. And now he comes out with a cello and starts singing.
I love babyface Braun. It's so absolutely ridiculous. Like, how do you turn him heel from this point on? It's like, oh, he's this big monster. Remember that time he came out with a cello?
Yeah, committed murder a few times.
I guess Kane's done some pretty ridiculous stuff in his past, and they still find a way to.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Kane, one of the things we didn't get to touch on the week prior because of our snow day was how Kane was kind of written off of Raw.
Yeah, he's going to go run for mayor.
Yeah.
How about that?
Interesting way to write him off.
I'd say so.
Very bad injury, almost, like I said, one of the several murders that Braun Strowman has committed on live television.
Literally.
But, Glenn Jacobs for mayor. We are in support of him for Knoxville, Tennessee.
There you go.
And any WWE figure should just automatically be elected, right?
Right. That's how that works. That's what's best for politics.
Don't matter. Yeah. So moving on a little bit here. What do you think about Elias? Do you think it's a good replacement for Samoa Joe?
I think Elias is very talented. I think that he is happy Samoa Joe is not there because he's getting the massive push that we talked about. I mean, he's going towards a program with John Cena, it looks like, which is what Samoa Joe was supposed to be doing. So you're absolutely right. They literally just plugged him in there. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really see Elias as a credible world champion. So, to me, he is mid-card, and I don't see him ever getting past the mid-card. He's a gimmick. Right. That's what he is. And that's nice. It's refreshing because there hasn't been a lot of characters in the WWE as of recently. So it's nice to have that kind of character. But the problem with that is that how do you take a guy seriously as world champion when his gimmick is he just comes out and sings? I don't see that. So.
Right. And, it kind of takes away from his in-ring ability, too. He's a great technical wrestler. I mean, he's a very strong guy. He's got some great moves. But when you really look at it right now, that's what he is. And he's getting over some of his stuff. The whole Walk with Elias thing is getting louder and louder every week from the crowd. So people know, people are starting to recognize him. And, I always thought, I kind of liked Elias a little bit more when he was kind of drifting through the background and when he was just, people were anticipating him to come. But, I think they've taken it, he was Elias Sampson to start. They've cut it to Elias several months ago, probably, actually. And I think that, I probably feel around the same way as you. It's just, he's going to need a repackage eventually.
Yeah.
As most of these
He needs
guys
a really strong I don't know. I feel like people are getting behind him where he might be a pretty good babyface.
Yes.
But if you do turn Elias babyface, you need to pair him with the biggest heel on the roster for him to work. Otherwise, he's just going to be irrelevant in a couple months after that.
Right.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see with him. What do you think about this whole announcement that Ronda Rousey will be signing her contract at the Elimination Chamber, although it was already reported she'd already signed her full-time deal, so...
Yeah, I mean, was it supposed to be her, like, full-time WWE contract or just a WrestleMania contract?
I think it's... I mean, obviously, breaking news, sorry to all our fans out there, but it's kayfabe, so... Obviously, she's actually signed her contract, or else she wouldn't be on television right now. But I think the idea going into the Elimination Chamber is that she's signing her WWE contract there to be a full-time wrestler.
Yeah.
So I guess my question for you is, who do you see, I guess, interrupting that segment, or what do you see happening with that segment? Because you know this is the WWE. That's not going to go off without a hitch. She's not going to come out there, sign her segment, and leave.
Right.
Something's going to happen that's going to set up her WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I think they're kind of setting up Nia Jax, too, because I think, while Alexa Bliss has to defend her Raw Women's title in the Elimination Chamber, you still have Nia Jax and Asuka in a match where if Nia Jax wins, it then becomes a triple threat match at WrestleMania. So how many times have we seen a triple threat match become a fatal four-way? More than I
think they just did it twice in the last 2 weeks. They just, the SmackDown, it was supposed to be 1-on-1, and then it got moved to a triple threat, and then it got moved to a fatal four-way, and now it's a fatal five-way.
Right.
So they literally have added 4. They just are like, yeah, everybody can just challenge for this belt. Oh, you lost? That's fine. We'll just put you in there anyway because we have nothing better for you to do. So,
yeah. And they're setting this up on Twitter with Nia Jax as kind of clapping back at Ronda Rousey's big entrance at the Royal Rumble, and I think the scene that you saw at the end of the Rumble with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss and Asuka all there, I think that, Nia Jax wasn't there, but Asuka and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. But I think that, you'll get something similar to that. She comes out to sign the contract, and here's, maybe the entire roster coming out to try to intimidate her.
See, I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, part of that is because they also have the Women's Elimination Chamber match.
Right.
So Nia's going to be in that.
Do you think they'll do the contract signing before that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
I would hope so, because they already outshined the Royal Rumble with Ronda coming on after that. So I don't know.
Though,
it could go either way.
Promo type of thing out of pay-per-view. I mean, we don't really do this kind of stuff.
Well, she's not ready to wrestle. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we do this on an episode of Raw? I mean, we got to take our first break here, but nonetheless, we're going to talk a little bit more when we come back about this subject. Also touch a little bit on SmackDown and other things going on in the wrestling universe. Ring of Honor SuperCard. Going to be very exciting. Don't go anywhere. This is Marking Out with Jason Marcus and Matt Freiler.
Now back to Com Radio's only WWE talk show, Marking Out with Jason Marcus and Matt Freiler.
The Lunatic Fringe, Jason. I think we miss him a little bit.
A little bit.
Maybe I do. Maybe you do.
I don't know. I think he would be lost in the shuffle right now.
Yeah. A lot of strange rivalries were going with Dean Ambrose until he finally was reunited with The Shield, and when he caught his big break, he got hurt. So, not good timing as far as where the booking was going for Dean Ambrose. I think that The Shield was supposed to be a very dominant tag team with bringing Roman Reigns in, but nonetheless, Dean Ambrose gets hurt, and then, you have the whole Jason Jordan ordeal, and now we have a 7-man Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
So, coming up on the 25th here, obviously another episode of Raw yet to go. We'll have some more things going on throughout the episode, but is there any way that Roman Reigns doesn't win this match?
No.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, no, this is Roman Reigns' match to lose. I would be very shocked if Roman Reigns loses this for 2 reasons. 1, because Roman Reigns lost and he never loses. But 2, is there anybody in that you would make a good WrestleMania main event? I guess Finn, because Finn's in it now.
Right.
I don't see them doing that.
I just feel like Finn would have won the Rumble if that was the case.
Right. But, so I think it's pretty clear Roman's going to win that. I'm most interested to see what they do with Seth Rollins for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Because he's been essentially in a tag team now for the better part of 6 months. Because they tried to do that whole Shield reunion thing, and that was one of the biggest misfires in booking wise in recent memory. Then they, it was just him and Dean for a little bit, and then Dean got hurt. So then they paired him with Jason Jordan, and then Jason Jordan got hurt. So Seth has just been a one-man wrecking crew, but with no story whatsoever. So I don't know what they're going to do with him for WrestleMania, because the report came out that Jason Jordan's not going to be ready. So he's not in a tag team match. So does Seth Rollins become, like, the favorite to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Is that what he's going to be doing?
That's kind of disappointing. I kind of like what you said on one of our earlier shows. I believe it was before the Royal Rumble even, that Seth Rollins and The Miz might be a good Intercontinental title feud.
I would love that.
Right, and I think if you got nothing to do with the guy who had Triple H last year and this whole comeback campaign and put Steph McMahon through a table by accident, that was huge for him. So it'd be a big downgrade to just put him in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Miz is going to need to face somebody, and if it's not Daniel Bryan, maybe it's Seth Rollins.
Well, the rumor mill right now is speculating that, of course, Roman will win the Chamber, go and face Brock, and that it'll be the Miz defending the Intercontinental title against Finn Balor, and they haven't announced anything for Seth Rollins, but the only conclusion I can come to is that if they are indeed doing the Miz and Balor, probably end up doing Seth Rollins and Elias.
Oh, okay.
So, because Elias is obviously the biggest other heel that doesn't have a WrestleMania match, other than Braun Strowman.
What about John Cena? You don't think they're going to give him John Cena?
They could. I do Cena Rollins. I know it's two baby faces, but
I guess it depends on, and this is a big depends on. But what are we getting from the Undertaker?
Right. I think it's still Cena Taker. Until he's not on the card, I will still say it's Cena Taker.
I mean I don't want to be stuck in WrestleMania and hearing that entrance and then thinking I got worked for the past 4 months either.
I mean, who would you rather see, John Cena versus The Undertaker or John Cena versus Elias? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for the biggest show in the company.
Right.
But, yeah, so for those of you guys who didn't watch Raw, this is how the seven-man chamber pretty much came to be. So you had, a week ago, you had a couple of those qualifying matches. You had Elias defeat Matt Hardy, you had John Cena defeat Finn Balor, and then you had Braun Strowman defeat Kane. And they all qualified for the Elimination Chamber. How did Bray fall into this? I don't.
It was just a match. It was a match with Matt Hardy that he had, and then no, Matt Hardy had a match against I believe it was.
Didn't he lose to Elias?
Yes, but Bray Wyatt came in at the end, I believe.
Anyway, so for some reason, Bray Wyatt is in this triple threat match.
He did lose to somebody, I just forgot.
Yeah, for some reason, Bray Wyatt's in this second chance triple threat match. And so it's supposed to be Finn, Rollins, and Bray, and then Seth Rollins comes out, and he doesn't have a partner, so Kurt inserts him in the match. And basically, the finish of the match is that Finn and Rollins both pin Bray at the same time. Show goes off the air. No one knows who's going into the chamber match. After the show, Raw General Manager Kurt Angle makes a decree over, I believe it was Facebook Live, saying that they're going to have the first ever 7-man chamber match. Great. The only thing I'm interested to see is, does the 7th man go into a pod? Are there 2 people in one pod? Or do they just start it off as a triple threat? It's not really that big of a deal, but...
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting. Maybe even to the move of maybe suspending somebody above the ring in a shark cage or something.
Oh, that'd be so dumb. Gotta sell those Mattel toys.
Yeah, right. I don't know, but I guess, realistically, they could put 7 in. Elimination Chamber last year, Bray Wyatt got the win. It was kind of an underwhelming pay-per-view. AJ Styles had the John Cena, had the WWE title at that point, and you knew he was going to lose it because of the reason that they gave it to him. But nonetheless, this year, things are just shaping up to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, so that gets us into another point we can touch on a little bit here about why are we having a fatal 5-way for the WWE Championship at Fastlane?
Because... Again, for the third show in a row, Matt, I will tell you that SmackDown creatively has absolutely nothing. They've done the same thing since whenever Hell in a Cell was, and I believe it was October. You can quote me if I'm wrong. So they're now, 4 months in, and they haven't changed any storylines in 4 months, right?
I just don't understand it. I mean, you go on WWE.com of all places, and you click on the WrestleMania tab, and there it is, AJ and Shin. So why are we doing this? Why are we not building this match? Why are we doing a fatal 5-way with Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against AJ Styles? that, I mean, what's going to happen? Is he going to lose the title, Jason?
No, he's not. Right? What are they going to do with Shin, though? I mean, because right now it looks like they're setting up for Randy Orton, Bobby Roode for the U.S. title, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, that's okay.
But what are you doing with Shin on the pay-per-view before WrestleMania when you're supposed to be building this guy up to main event your biggest show of the year, and you just... I can't even think. Who's another heel? Jinder? Is he going to face Jinder Mahal at the Elimination Chamber? And that's going to be your big match that is going to build up Shinsuke to face AJ Styles. He's going to defeat Jinder Mahal. Because that's what it's looking like. And
it just seems like they're lost in ways to build him. Like, it just seems like just because the fact that he can't come out and cut a great promo because of his language barrier, that they're lost in ways to build this.
Use that to your advantage. Right. Make him the silent, martial arts guy.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like SmackDown just has nothing. So there's really not much more to talk about with SmackDown. It went from a 1-on-1 match between AJ Styles and the winner of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then Shane McMahon decided to just put them both in and make it a triple threat. And then he decided to put either Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler in there to make it a 4-way. And Baron Corbin won, but they decided to just put Dolph in there as well. So now it's gone from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 in a matter of 2 weeks. Yep. So, that's SmackDown for you. Not much more else to say there.
Well, on another note, Dolph Ziggler wants to main event WrestleMania, and so does Kurt Hawkins. We're going to take a break right here on Marking Out. We'll be right back with our closing comments. Don't go anywhere.
Now, back to Com Radio's only WWE talk show, Marking Out with Jason Marcus and Matt Freiler.
Back here on Marking Out, Jason, as Vince Russo would say, Sami Zayn, get that nerd off my television, bro.
Vince Russo or the club?
Well,
both.
Yeah. So, Sami Zayn obviously is in a fatal 5-way. We already covered that for the WWE Championship. Move on here a little bit. Some breaking news on Big Cass. Tore his ACL, as you know, back in August on the Raw after SummerSlam. Of all things, in a match with Enzo Amore, which was completely useless. He has an injury that's going to hold him out probably until after WrestleMania.
Yeah, does Big Cass come back as a heel again?
Well, it didn't seem... I mean, they need a repackage if so.
Yeah.
Because that was a terrible heel. I mean...
If it was up to me, I would just give him Enzo's theme and just have him go back to the old gimmick, but without Enzo.
Yeah.
Just literally take over everything Enzo was doing, just without being Enzo.
Right. That was what was selling. That
right, exactly.
It was over.
You don't lose the merch because you can still do the certified G and the soft and whatever. Right. But instead of Enzo there, it's just Big Cass.
And Big Cass didn't let millions of kids down around the country when, an allegation came out about a rape. So, with Enzo Amore gone, I think you can't. Big Cass is not a heel. The only reason he was a heel is because of the breakup. And now that Enzo's gone, it doesn't matter for anything, right? So, yeah, I mean, he needs a little bit of. I would like to see him just be called Cass. I mean, he's big, obviously, but I like just Cass. I know his name's Colin Cass.
Just Cass.
So Cass is kind of. I mean,
coming to the ring.
I'm not crazy.
Just Cass.
Yeah, just Cass. So. Let's talk a little bit because they deserve it. Ring of Honor SuperCard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you want.
In my opinion, this is the biggest news in wrestling. Well, recently.
It's gonna be a heck of a match.
I'd assume for some of our fans that only watch the WWE, you may not have heard of Ring of Honor. For those of you who don't know, Ring of Honor is arguably the biggest independent professional wrestling promotion in the United States. And the big story here comes that Cody Rhodes, you guys may know, is the biggest star, arguably one of the biggest stars in Ring of Honor currently. And on WrestleMania weekend, the Saturday before WrestleMania, the same day as NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the same time, and by the way, their SuperCard will be in New Orleans. It will be Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, who just had a classic match with Chris Jericho at New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 12. So you got the two biggest independent wrestling stars in the world right now facing each other in a historical match, WrestleMania weekend, the day before WrestleMania, right up against NXT TakeOver, both shows in New Orleans. It is a figurative line in the sand map. Cody Rhodes, who is actually not only wrestling in the main event, but he's actually producing the entire show. So he is the guy behind all of it.
And he does such a great job with being the elite. I know a lot of our fans or a lot of our listeners may not know Being the Elite. It's their YouTube series for the Bullet Club that Cody Rhodes just does an excellent job with. One of the episodes where Kenny Omega was kicked out of the Bullet Club was just fascinating. And, you know, with what Kenny Omega's doing right now with Kota Ibushi, that's kind of interesting because that kind of came out of nowhere with, you know, when the Bullet Club found out that, you know, that was going to happen with Kenny Omega. But yeah, I need to get more involved because this is, I love right now it's all in ring for me. That's the only thing I know, and I need to know more about these storylines. So I'm trying to catch up a lot on Being the Elite. I recommend everybody watch that because that's been a great YouTube series.
What do you think about their chances going up against TakeOver? Do you think they're going to succeed? Do you think, because I mean, if I'm objectively speaking, most likely the main event of NXT TakeOver New Orleans is going to be Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship.
Which could be awesome.
Could be a great match. But is it Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega, which are the two biggest independent stars? And I guess it depends. But...
Well, no, but nobody would have said that Johnny wrestling against Cien Almas was anything that would have touched Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
either.
that match is the best thing for many reasons to happen to Cien. I think if Cien doesn't have that exact match, he's out of the company when he loses this belt.
Right, so if TakeOver puts on a kind of an unexpected show to the caliber as they did before the Royal Rumble, I think it might still go to NXT.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm so excited to see Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes. These are two extremely talented performers. I mean, they're two of the best wrestlers in the world, and we're going to definitely have more build up to that, not just the road to WrestleMania, but the road to SuperCard as well. So that was Marking Out for Jason Marcus. I'm Matt Freiler. We didn't get to talk about Booker T and Corey Graves, but, you know, here's a podcast where we would be just talking about another podcast. So, you know, we don't need to do that because that's all it was. Nothing on TV, just a podcast. So, if you want to know about Booker T and Corey Graves, look it up online. They worked everybody. So, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.